Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we're doing a little bit of an equipment test, preparing for the New Jersey video at the end of the week. So I'm actually just going to go out, take a walk. I've got some extra batteries in my pocket here. It usually takes me about an hour, maybe 40 minutes to an hour to make a full loop. So I'm just going to be walking, having a little bit of fun, you know, just enjoying it. Been trying to get in shape, you guys know this, so walking is a big part of it because walking's easy. Anybody can do it, right? Well, most of us. I'm not bringing Goober with me. I normally do on smaller walks, but on the big walk where I'm going to be going down the roads and on the highway, I don't bring him because he doesn't like a lot of fast moving cars close by. Otherwise I bring him out when we come out and we go up the little hill and stuff. But this is going to be a big walk. So hopefully you guys are ready. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be recording it in 4K, 30 frames. Hopefully that's good enough for you guys. Should be. You guys know my GoPro. I love the GoPro, always have. I had to, the last time we went out on Wisconsin, I didn't bring enough batteries or anything. Well, I made sure to get extra batteries this time. I've got 6 batteries to replace the one that comes in it. So 7 batteries total. So we should have plenty of run time there to get the entire tour and the 5-inch gun firing. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But I'm feeling a lot better today than I was yesterday. Don't know what it was, man. I don't know if it's a stomach bug or what, but I just woke up yesterday morning feeling miserable. So I didn't want to do nothing. I just basically laid in bed all day. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. Looks like everybody seems to be enjoying the path to the Bismarck so far with the Kaiser video today. Been getting a lot of good feedback from that. I'm gonna be trying to get a little bit more into my videos. A lot of people have been requesting subtitles. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that anytime soon. We'll look into it, see if there's an easier way for me to do it. Right now, the only way I know to do subtitles is to literally listen to the video and type up every single thing that I say. And then I can auto convert it into other languages, but that's a lot of work. So we'll see, but definitely going to be starting to try to do timestamps, especially on the Path 2 videos. Not really that big of a deal on the normal videos we do. But for any of the more informative videos, especially like today's Kaiser video was a 20-minute run-up before we got to the gameplay. So I completely understand that part of it, which is why I started the timestamps and chapters on that. Gonna try to keep that up if we can. But yeah, other than that, we're just gonna take a nice little walk. And hopefully the deer flies leave me alone. They're starting to buzz around, a little bit of mosquitoes too. It rained pretty hard this morning, so I'm hoping that they're not too bad today. And so far, I've made it this far and haven't been too bothered by them. So that's a pretty good sign. Deer flies, man, they tear you up. I don't know if you guys have biting flies where you're at, but deer flies are a major pain in the butt out here. We get horse flies too, but deer flies are by far the worst because there's a lot more of them. And they bite you and it's just, I hate them. Hate deer flies. But yeah, so you guys are going to join me on my little walk through the country. You guys seen a little snippet of this. This is literally the road by my house. This is me living in the middle of nowhere. When I tell you guys I live in the middle of nowhere, I mean it. Like, this is why I can't get good internet. I can't get good internet. Can't speak either, apparently. But I look a little ridiculous because my long hair doesn't go well with the GoPro mount on my head, but who cares? What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, so how you guys been? It's a little weird to sit here. I wonder what people are gonna think, because in my area people aren't used to this. Like in cities and stuff, you see people doing like vlogging and stuff all the time. If this is something you guys are interested in, I'm definitely interested in doing more of it because it's good exercise for me to get out and walk around. So if you guys want to see me maybe take you other places, there's plenty of places to visit in my area. I could take you guys with me, do a little vlog, you know, every once in a while. Not going to be a really like what's the thing, consistent thing for me, but if I can keep it up and you guys enjoy these little talks and the walks through my area, then maybe we can make it happen. It's not too hot today. The sun has kind of been pretty nice. Got a nice little breeze blowing most of the time. It's actually kind of died down a little bit, unfortunately, and the sun is getting kind of warm, but not as bad as it was the other day, that's for sure. I want to say it was Sunday. I think it was last Sunday. I went on the same walk. It's about 5 miles total. Takes me 40 to 50 minutes or so. But actually, I'm trying to think. I think the first time it took me 93 minutes, and this last time took me I shaved like 14 minutes off of it, I think. So it was like 69 or 79 minutes, something like that. I forget. So it'll be about an hour. I'll probably cut some of it out for you guys. Or maybe I won't. You guys know me, I'm not the biggest editor in the world. I generally tend to just leave most of the stuff in, and you guys seem to enjoy it for the most part. But you got this little strip mine right here next to me. I live in a coal mining area, okay? This entire area was built for coal mines. They've stripped all the coal out of the area and they've all left. But you get the strip mines here left over, good fishing. It looks a little dirty. That's because the darn beavers down there built another dam. If you guys don't know, if you guys think beavers are cute, they're actually a pain in the junk, not gonna lie. But yeah, you can see the film on the top of the water and stuff. It's where the water's not moving through as easy because of the dam. So then everything kind of backs up a little bit and just becomes stagnant. And when you got as much, I mean, you can see the hills around here. The hills are pretty ridiculous. It's not the mountains, but we're called the foothills of the Appalachians for a reason. And you got all this water that comes off these hills, brings all the dirt and the grass and stuff with it, and it all files down into here and then gets further downstream. But it's actually, it is gorgeous out here during the spring, summer, and fall. Wintertime is gorgeous too, but not nearly as gorgeous. I love green, man, and it doesn't get much better than this. I mean, you guys see it. Nature, I mean, I'm sure you guys, I don't know if you can hear over me or not, but I'm sure you can. Mic's on this thing is pretty good. But uh-oh, got a car up here. It doesn't look like anybody's in it, but hard to tell. Somebody probably broke down, out goofing off, and broke their car. Either that or they're down fishing. Could be. Right out here on this peninsula down here, I know people like to fish. Got a guy with a weed eater. Speaking of which, looks like he's gonna go down, clear him an area so he can fish. But anyway, we own, by we, I mean my parents. My mom passed away, of course, in 2016, so it's just my dad and I. We own 10 acres in the middle of nowhere. And then, of course, most of the property owners around us own a lot more land than us. Like pretty much everybody. But it's a nice little spot. We're down in the bottom, so water is an issue at times, but we also get all of the fun things down in the bottom that comes with the water. We got all the snakes, frogs, bugs that you can imagine that come with it, all the fun. But it is beautiful, man. And it's kind of nice because we're down in the bottom, so there's not a lot of trees on the property other than on the hills. So it's pretty open, and then it's just trees and hills. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Living in the forest is absolutely gorgeous. Can't ask for much more than that. Just wish we could get better internet. I'm waiting for the Starlink. Those of you who know me know that I've already put up a deposit on Starlink. We're just waiting for Starlink to come to our area. As soon as it does, I'll be on that. We'll get rid of that HughesNet garbage, and maybe we'll even be able to stream again, hopefully. But because I think my channel would do really well as a streaming channel. I mean, I'd still do my normal uploads and stuff too, but streaming, me, live, come on. So that's the goals. It's all in due time. We have to be patient, but it is what it is. Everything in this area is real old as well. Like even our house, the house that I live in, like our house is over 100 years old. My family bought the property back in, I believe, 1958. And Grandma and Grandpa used to live in the house. They had 7 or 8. I think they had 8 kids. I think Grandma Doyle had 8 kids. All singles too. All singles. But I think they had 8 kids in this little house. They didn't have indoor plumbing. They didn't have electricity until my dad graduated high school. After my dad graduated high school and went to work, that's when they put indoor plumbing in the house. They built the kitchen, they built the front room, they got electricity in everywhere. Like it's crazy to think. And my dad graduated in 1977, so that kind of tells you how old this area is. And so when we go up here, you're gonna see some pretty rundown old buildings. But you got to think that these buildings, most of them, are from the coal mine days. We've got 2 hills. Well, it's actually 1 hill, but 2 roads that go up. And some more information about the area. One is called White Hill and one is called Black Hill. Okay, I don't remember which is which, but it is exactly what you think it is. So during the coal mining days, the guys that were working, of course, everything was segregated back then. So the guys that were working lived in company-provided housing on this hill called Congo. Or at least that's what we call it now, is Congo. And so there's actually a coal mine further down. I'll point it out once we get up there. I'll point out the road that goes down to the coal mine. Everything's closed up nowadays. There's only one coal mine in the area that I know of that's still operational, and it's Buckingham Coal Mine over between Corning and Baroque. Baroque is the lake that I showed you guys last year. I want to say it was last summer. I showed you guys a little bit of it. Had the geese going across the water, and took some pictures on my Instagram. If you guys follow my Instagram, you get all kinds of behind the scenes pictures, whether it's pictures of me eating, well, not so much me eating, just the food. I don't like to post pictures of myself. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or not. Don't really care to take pictures of myself, but I like taking pictures of everything else. And so that's what I like to do. I like to take pictures. I think I just swallowed a bug. Well, there goes my voice. Probably should have brought some water with me, so I didn't want to sit here talking to you guys the whole time. But yeah, if you guys are interested in more behind the scenes stuff, make sure to check out my Instagram. I don't make any money off Instagram. I just post pictures and stuff. People seem to like it. So most of the pictures are just pictures off my phone that I take, whether it's going out to lunch, or most of the time it's just going out for lunch. It's about the only time I leave the house other than for my walks. Most of the time I'm just stuck in the house recording. That ain't no fun. But we're doing pretty good for the walk so far. Again, I try to keep a pretty good pace when I'm walking, get my heart rate up, keep it up there as long as we can. And then when we get up here to the Congo Hill, I usually power walk up it pretty good, and that's a workout. So that'll be fun. But really isn't a whole lot to talk about at the moment. That's why I'm kind of going quiet. But once we get up here a little ways, I'll show you more and do a little bit more talking. Not trying to beat my record from Sunday, just out walking. Like I said, mostly this is a equipment test to make sure that everything is going to plan. Can't really see what my battery's looking like on my GoPro at the moment. I know it was 36% when I left the house on the first battery, and we're on 4K 30, so we'll see how that works out. If this is good enough and we get plenty of runtime out of it, then I'll know I'll be set for the Battleship New Jersey. But the one thing I am worried about with the GoPro is the heat. So the GoPros are notorious for overheating and shutting off once you've recorded more than, like, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. So we'll see. But as you guys can see, absolutely gorgeous out here. All the trees that you could ever ask for, and then some. But you see one of the property owners here has got his fence up. Notice how clear it is over here and then how thick everything is over on the left. This guy puts in some goats in here. Goats literally just go through and eat everything. Doesn't matter if it's briars or, you know, sticker bushes, anything like that. Like, dude, those goats just go ham. They will clear out your property quicker than snot. It's fantastic seeing those little goats run around and just chew up everything. Like, it's crazy. Some of the nastiest, like, bush that you can ask for, because we get plenty of water down here. That is the one thing that I will say about our area. We don't get much of a dry season. Our dry season here in southeastern Ohio is usually like August, and even then it's not even that dry most of the time. So all right, so we're starting to get back into civilization a little bit. We got Congo coming up. And I want to say that the very first road off to the right is Black Hill, and then the road that we're going to go up, which is more paved, a little easier on the feet, is White Hill. And again, that just goes back to the old coal mining days when everything was segregated. Most of the people that were around back then are gone. Like, that's how old these mines are. But funny thing is, the mine that was down here, this was all redone, restripped when I was in school. So they actually came through. This road was completely changed. Well, not this part, but where we came up the hill back there, that was actually lower. The road came up at a different angle than it does now. They used to mine, man. They'd blare the sirens, and I forget how long it was. It's like from the first siren you had a minute or something like that, and then everything would just shake. Where they're just blasting, it's ridiculous. Knock stuff off your walls. It's a mess. But yeah, they've been done mining for a while. Then they opened that mine down there in Gloucester, and then they actually found another spot to mine that had even more, that they've spent the last, what, 12 years? 12 years mining. That's a solid mine when you got a mine that lasts that long, especially with today's equipment. But like I said, most of these houses you're about to see, obviously you'll know the difference. You'll tell the difference, but most of the houses you're going to see are going to be like 100 years old. It's ridiculous. And people just keep living in older houses like ours. You fix it up, you try to keep everything working in them, but you can see this is the beginning of Congo. And like I said, I'm fairly confident this little road here is called Black Hill, and this one up here that's paved is called White Hill, but could be wrong. But used to be hundreds of people that lived up this way. Hundreds. during the mining days. Now it's not so much, but the area is becoming a lot more people interested in the area now, especially with all these trails and stuff for four-wheelers and side-by-sides and four-wheel drives, and all these trails around the area, bringing in a lot of money to the area, which is a huge bonus for everybody in the area, even though you got to put up with a lot more noise. So far on this walk, I haven't had too much of an issue with dogs, but everybody's got their dogs inside fence at least, or at least chained up. But this road off here to our left, this road is what takes us down to the old mine. You go down that way all the way out, you'll see the mine that direction. We're not going down there today. We're gonna walk all the way up. We do a big loop. It's about 5 miles, the loop is. And we're about to start the hardest part of it. So I'm gonna probably be breathing a little bit heavy, probably won't talk as much as we go up this hill, but yeah, it's gonna be a climb, guys. As you can see, I don't know how it looks on GoPro. Probably doesn't look as good on GoPro, but it's a pretty steep little climb, but it's not too tall, and then it flattens out a little ways and then goes up again once we get to the top. But it's a good little walk to get in shape, which is something I sorely need. It's crazy how far I've come as far as my exercise goes in a short amount of time that I've been doing it. I would have never been able to do this last year. Not even close. How's it going?
How are you doing all that there?
Just walking, trying to get my fat butt in shape.
Oh, yeah?
Trying. All right, so we made it up the first part of the climb. Got some cats over here. That was a guy I graduated high school with. We'll see if the big angry dog is still ready for me here in a minute. This house on my right got a pretty nasty snarl on him. I wouldn't want to mess with him. Must have caught him sleeping, or he's in the house, because he usually comes running up to the fence, snarling, barking, nasty. Makes it sound like he's gonna rip you apart. Up here in this little house, nobody lives in it, I don't think, but it's kind of creepy. They got some like Halloween props or clowns or something in the windows. So if you got a fear of clowns, might want to look away. You can see them. I don't know if you guys can see them yet or not, but there's not just the one either. a bit creepy. Look at those guys. Free hugs. A little bit creepy. But yeah, it's pretty much everyone around here except me owns some sort of ATV, four-wheeler, side-by-side, or whatever. I've never been like, first of all, I ain't had the money to do it, and B, it's just never been my thing. But there's a lot of people come from all over to come down to these trails, stay the weekend, go a little crazy, and then take some of our mud back to the cities with them. What's up, little guy? But yeah, all in all, it's not a bad little route to walk either. It's got its uphills, it's got its downhills. Don't worry, downhills are coming. So far, I haven't heard my GoPro kick off yet, and we've been going for a while. And we're at 26 minutes right now, which is already longer than I was able to record on USS Wisconsin. And like I said, this battery was only 36% when we left the house. So we're doing pretty good. Gives me hope. How's it feel heat-wise? Oh, it's pretty warm. It's definitely warm. But hasn't overheated yet. Old church. All right, one last big hill climb, and then everything else is pretty much downhill. At least till we get to the highway, and then it's just a long straight walk, which is why I wait till it's a little later in the day so I'm not burning up when the sun's pointed right at me. But like I said, normally when I come up on this walk, I try to push myself a little harder each time. But since I got you guys with me, I'm using you as an excuse. Take it easy. All right. Well, we made it this far. It's about a third of the way. We've climbed 24 floors, according to my Fitbit. That's roughly 240 feet of altitude. Because I think that's the way Fitbit does it. My Fitbit, if you guys haven't seen it, has a altimeter on it, and for every 10 feet that you go up or down, it counts those as floors. So you can track not only your distance and your heart rate, but you can track how high or how low you go, at least in terms of floors. This house here I was on a walk the other day. Little dog come running out to me. But for the most part, they leave you alone. All right, and now we're at our official highest that we're going to get for the walk, and usually this is where I start jogging down, but not going to do that today. Just enjoy the nice breeze that we got. The fact that it's not too hot, not too humid. It's a little humid, but it's not too hot, so it's not bad. That old tree looks like it's seen better days. It doesn't look like it's going to see very many more days. That'd be a big old tree to come down. But yeah, if you guys enjoy these little walks and stuff, I can definitely do more of them. We can go to some other areas too and walk. And go up to the old mines, or at least as close as we can get without trespassing. Last thing I need to do is get in trouble. Don't want to be one of those YouTubers, you know, those illegal freedom guys. Don't get me wrong, I love watching them, but I don't want to get in trouble. I get enough trouble on my own. I don't need any help. But we got an area called Old Man's Cave too. It's I don't know, about, what is it, like 40 miles from my house. Pretty popular area to go to for tourists. But a lot of people used to get on me all the time when I was growing up. They're like, come on, why don't you want to go to Old Man's Cave? I'm like, if I want to go to Old Man's Cave, I literally just go in my backyard. There you go. A hawk. That was kind of cool. I think it was a hawk. All right, and we're back. Had to do a battery swap. So we got a pretty good idea how long our batteries will last now. At least as long as they're not overheating. It's supposed to be pretty warm during the tour, so hopefully we don't have any issues with overheating. I know for a good chunk of the tour we'll be inside the ship, and it's supposed to be AC, but it'll probably still get pretty hot. It is a giant steel tank. And it's supposed to get like 87 to 90 degrees plus chance of thunderstorms for the day. So that'd be interesting. All right, so a little bit of a breather that I don't normally take. Normally I just walk straight through, but you gotta do a battery swap, you gotta do a battery swap. You can see some of the property owners around are putting up cabins and stuff, trying to take advantage of the folks that come down and stay on the weekends. So it's all pretty new. But yeah, Old Man's Cave is a place nearby. Of course, Baroque is a state park. Try not to get run over. But Baroque State Park is a good place. It's got the lake there. It's got the dam. I'm gonna walk you guys around that. Maybe they got several trails in the area too, but they're pretty nasty trails. So is Old Man's Cave. They got some pretty nasty trails out there too, to climb and up and down and over around. I think one of my cousins, you guys know Colton. Colton was the guy that zoomed in on my butt crack during the polar bear challenge last year. He's actually wanting to go out here and go hiking, maybe do like a camp where we backpack out and we set up a tent somewhere. I think the trail that he's wanting to do is like 18 miles. So there's another reason I'm trying to get in shape so that I don't look too stupid. I've never backpacked before. If I go hiking, it's just to walk out there and walk back. I don't usually spend the night. But it'll be an interesting one. Maybe I'll bring you guys along for that too. Maybe we'll get attacked by a bear or something. Hope not, but never know. They are in the area. Mostly black bear, but I'm sure there are others. Pretty rare though. But this is actually the middle of the Wayne National Forest, if you guys wanted to know. The Wayne National Forest is the only national forest in Ohio. So that's pretty cool. There's other forests, but the only national forest in Ohio is the Wayne National Forest. And we just happen to live right in the middle of it. Absolutely beautiful. But coming with the beauty also comes the terrible infrastructure. And for all of you folks that are from smaller countries that don't understand why some places in the US just don't have internet very well, if at all, and there's that reason. For that reason, like the US is massive, and so even though it's cut up into 50 states, the US is still massive. Like my state of Ohio is actually larger than like 36 countries. So just to put that into perspective. And that's just our state, and we're not even one of the bigger states. So keep that in mind. The US is what, the third largest country in the world, with Russia and Canada being number 1 and number 2. So keep, you know, it comes with the territory. But unlike Russia and Canada, most of the US is pretty well populated, with the exception of like most of the plains. You got a lot of area out there in the plains in Alaska where it's not as populated, but definitely East Coast, West Coast US has a crap ton of people. Was there 370 million people in the US, something like that? It's a lot of people. But that makes you think about all those countries like China and India, which are smaller but have a bajillion more people. Like India is what, over 1 billion people. China's over 2 billion people, I think. And when you consider that and consider the fact that there's what, 9 billion people, or is it 8 billion people on the planet? 3 billion of those people live in 2 countries. That's insane. I don't even want to think about it. Don't even want to think about it. Shout out to you guys from India and China. Let me know down in the comments below. Say hello. I know you're out there because I've talked to a few of you guys from India especially. But it is a beautiful day for a walk. You get all the songbirds out doing their thing. It's one of the coolest parts about my channel. Like, you guys have helped me out so much. You guys don't even understand. You don't even understand. When I tell you guys are literal lifesavers, I'm not joking. Like, I was in a pretty dark place when I started my channel back in 2016. My mom had passed away in February. I wasn't doing well financially or anything like that. Working my butt off in a dead-end job that I didn't really care for. You do everything you can to try to make the most of everything, and it just seems like the world just keeps beating you down. And so getting into a position where I was able to start making content, reaching out to people, talking with you guys on the daily, it's helped me a lot. So I do appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. And then to parlay that as a, like, that was literally just me jumping on, trying to help myself by you know, being able to talk to folks and enjoy, you know, what I do. And you guys have helped me get to a point where I can do that for a living. I cannot express to you guys how much that means to me. So for all of you folks that stuck by me all the way, for all of you new folks, I appreciate you all. I really do. And I ain't going anywhere. I'm gonna keep putting out content regardless, as I enjoy it and you guys seem to enjoy it. So I'm gonna keep doing it. But I believe we're approaching the halfway point. Has been nice not to be completely obliterated by deer flies today. I will say that, even if it is a bit more humid than normal. A lot of people don't reach out and talk to their audience as much as I do, and I don't know why they don't. It's one of the fun, for me, it's one of the best parts about what I do, is to get to talk to you guys, read your comments every day, reply to as many people as I can, even though I can't reply to everybody anymore. I used to literally read and reply to every single comment on my channel. But then when you start getting, you know, 150 to 200 comments a day, it starts to get a lot harder. I still read the very vast majority of everything, and even on Xbox, even though I don't reply on Xbox very often unless it was a GG message or something like that, I don't reply on Xbox because I just get absolutely inundated with Xbox messages. So, you know, that's why, like, if you're not on my friends list on Xbox, you're probably not going to get a reply. So don't hold that against me, but it's just because I can't answer everybody. I literally get between the 150 to 200 comments a day on my channel, plus Instagram. I get some comments and messages on Instagram. I get comments and messages on my Xbox, like, and Twitter. I forgot about Twitter. So, like, I try to respond to as many people as possible every day, but it sometimes may take some time. And if I forget about you, I apologize. Like, a lot of people get upset with me because I don't respond as quickly as they think I should, but you just got to remember that, you know, there are 32,500 of you guys. There's one of me. So it's a bit rough some days to try to get back with everybody and keep track of everybody, but I do my best. I do my best. I reach out. I think we were averaging something like 5,000 comments a month, and I respond to at least 2/3 of those. So you can see how many people I'm reaching, you know, that way. But it gets pretty crazy some days. But I enjoy it. That's the thing. Like, I don't know why other YouTubers don't. But I enjoy messaging people back, because as somebody who also watches all of YouTube, like, I love YouTube. YouTube is amazing. I am both a content creator and a content consumer. I spend more time on YouTube watching programs than I watch on TV. I don't even use my TV, other than my TV is my computer, obviously. But yeah, I watch more on YouTube than I do on TV. About the only thing I watch on TV is sports, and that's rare. Like, that's watching my dude Brady, or watching college football. I'm watching my Michigan Wolverines get their butts kicked every week. Or at least get their butts kicked when it matters anyway. But But yeah, I do love YouTube, man, and I love leaving messages. And it's something awesome about leaving a comment on a YouTube video that you enjoyed, and then seeing that heart pop up on you, or a comment pop up from the content creator themselves. Like, that is an awesome feeling. Awesome feeling. Or to leave a comment and then go back and realize that 13,000 people have liked your comment. Like, that's ridiculous. Got a car coming. But yeah, if you're not sure what I'm talking about there, I was actually a video on Donut Operator's channel. If you don't know who Donut Operator is, he's a former cop that makes YouTube videos doing literally everything. Whether it's shooting guns, going on hunting trips, doing shooting breakdowns, giving his opinion from a retired police perspective on issues around. But anyway, I left a comment on one of his videos, and it ended up getting, like, last I checked, it was over 13,000 likes, which is crazy. But there's one of my favorite flowers. We call them snake flowers. I have no idea what they're actually called, but this is one of the wildflowers that grow in our area. I just like them. There's a cool color, kind of like a reddish orange. Mosquitoes are starting to tear me up, or gnats, one or the other. But just always liked those flowers, man. We get a lot of wildflowers up here in Ohio. Some of them are already out of bloom, but like right at the beginning of spring, you get all the flowers, man. It's ridiculous. By the end of May, usually all the flowers are bloomed. It looks pretty cool. You get the cherry blossoms when you get the people who grow cherries and stuff. We got a couple cherry trees out in our yard, but yeah, for the most part, man, it's a beautiful area, man. Some of the earliest trees to come in as far as their leaves and stuff are like the dogwoods and redbud trees. It's beautiful when they come in. And then, of course, by the end of May, beginning of June, you've got all the trees pretty much fully leaved back up, and you've got all the beautiful green. Like, I can't help it. I'm a dork, but I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Well, the good news is we've pretty much finished the hill. From here on out, it's mostly flat. A little curvy initially, and then we'll get on the long straight highway stretch. But we're doing pretty good. This house here, I think it's this one, maybe it's the next one. One of these houses has an invisible fence for their dogs. It's a bit sketchy because they run right out to the road. You think you're going to get nailed. But they do have a sign up to at least let you know. So I don't think it's this one, I think it's the next one. But just little dogs though. Those are actually the worst ones if you ask me. Bigger dogs generally, you know, don't have to worry about too much. But the smaller dogs, man, they come after you. But oh boy. Like I said, it's the little ones you gotta worry about. I highly wouldn't recommend it, Taco Bell. Yeah, I get it, you're tough. Like I said, you never know. Some of the most nasty dogs that I've run into over the years were Chihuahuas. Can't stand those little things. I was on my bike, and I used to ride my bike all the time. And I rode my bike down the main stretch down where I live. And the last house on the right next to their church that they own, is the Pages. And Mr. and Mrs. Page had these two little Chihuahuas. And those little suckers were nasty. Nasty, man. Even on a bike, they would come after you. I'm rolling by on a bike, and the things would come straight out of the house. They would, I don't think Mr. and Mrs. Page used air conditioning in their house, so they always had their doors open in the summer. And those little freaking chihuahuas come run out the door, come right at you, nipping at your heels while you're trying to pedal away on the bike. It was a pain in the butt. And if you were walking, then you had even more to worry about, because then you can't really outrun them. But I have been attacked by dogs multiple times. Actually, my cousin's dog attacked me twice, believe it or not. My cousin Josh had this old dog. His name was Buster, and I don't know what happened. Like, I never had an issue with this dog for my entire life, and then one day he just snapped. He was laying down between his cars. I was going up to my cousin's house. I was going to visit, and went to walk in the front door. I seen him laying between the cars. Again, never had an issue with him. But, uh-oh, this is a new dog. Hope I don't have an issue with him. But yeah, my cousin's dog, Buster, I was walking past him, and then he just got up and yomped my finger, man. He got a hold of me good. And so it was after that point that they ended up chaining him up, because he was just too dangerous. He was starting to attack people, so they started chaining him up. And my cousins were always doing the 4-H thing, where they do barrel racing and horses and stuff, and raising different things for 4-H. And so they asked me to go up and feed their rabbits. And so I went up to feed their rabbits. They said Buster was chained up. I turned a corner to get to the back where they kept the rabbits, and I heard the chain break, and I turned around, took off running. It was too late. Buster jumped up, grabbed me on the back of the knee, knocked me down, and I had to kick him in the snout to keep him off of me. It was a pain. He got me good right on the back of the right knee. But now we're in the bottom. This is called Green Valley Bottom down here. This old barn up ahead was been around a long time, man, and it used to be called Green Valley Farms down here. It's owned by the Posts, and the Posts were the I don't know if the owners, or it's just especially the Reverend Ralph Post of our church. But we had a lot of fun down here over the years, especially on snow days. When we have snow days from school, we were off school, all of us kids would come over here to get together on Green Valley Hill. They would brush hog it before winter, and you'd end up with some pretty awesome hill. It's rough going up, but man, it was fun coming down. We did all the things, man. We used to snowboard on it. I wasn't very good at snowboarding, but used to sled ride. If you didn't have a sled, there was trash bags and car hoods, and then we started getting into four-wheelers and having somebody run you around on a four-wheeler while they're dragging you behind. And we had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You can see the hill going up. That's where we used to sled ride, man. You come off that hill and just a blaze, and we used to build some ramps at the bottom, little small ramps and stuff. Used to race each other down the hill. that ended badly. Me and my friend Dustin, also known as Jim or James, he and I were racing, and I just went past him, and as I went past him I hit like a rut or something, and it flipped my sled over, and I went tumbling. I took his legs out, he went tumbling, like it was a mess. But you know, when you're young, you can take a tumble and be okay. Nowadays I'd probably break in half. But we've had some good crashes, man. But over there on the hill, can't really see it because the brush, but right there where the field ends and those trees begin, just on the other side of those trees is the cemetery, Millertown Cemetery. Smells like somebody's cooking. Smells good, and I already ate. You can see Green Valley Farm barn. It's one thing about this area, man. There ain't a lot of people. Well, there wasn't. Now there is a lot more, but growing up, pretty much everybody knows everybody. We all go to the same school. Like, our school captures an entire area rather than like just a quarter of a city or whatever. So like our entire area goes to one school, and then you get further down, you got Trimble down that way. But Corning, Shawnee, New Straitsville, Moxahala, the surrounding areas all go to Miller, which is down closer to my house from here. But this is State Route 155. This is the main road. One of the shortest state routes in Ohio. I believe the State Route 155 is 7 miles long. It literally goes from Shawnee to Corning, and that's it. But yeah, that hill over there with the 3 crosses, we used to go up the shorter side up there where that blind is and go sled riding down that all the time. That was fun, man. A lot of fun. This area here floods real bad. Like I said, you get all these hills. This is called the bottom for a reason. And man, when it floods, it floods. This whole road will end up getting shut down because it'll be under several inches of water. Which brings me back to a fun story. I was driving my Duster. It was the worst flood that we've had in a long time. We had a bunch of really bad floods in like short succession around here, and it's been a couple of years, and by a couple of years I mean several years, since we've had a really bad flood. And we're due. One of the things that I will say, this area is prone to flooding. Not just this area, but like Corning and Trimble down there. Trimble gets it even worse. Trimble and Chansey, because they're downhill or downstream from the dam. So not only do they get all the water that Corning got, but they also get the water from Baroque letting out of the dam. And those people that run that dam, I don't know, man. Sometimes you question them because they make some questionable calls. But at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a dumb YouTuber. Everybody out mowing their grass. But dude's about to run out of gas. Sure sounds like he's about to run out of gas anyway. But anyway, back to the story about the flooding. So it was right after I graduated high school, I want to say. It was either 2004 or 2006, somewhere in there. It was either right after I graduated high school or a year or two after I graduated high school. We had a really bad flood. where we got 10 inches of rain in 3 hours overnight from remnants of a tropical storm that came up from the Gulf. And like I've shown you guys, our area is not suited for water. Unlike some places out on the coasts where you get 10-12 inches of rain, it just goes out to the ocean right away. You get a little bit of standing water here and there. Here you get flash floods, and flash floods are no joke, man. Corning ended up with so much water that it was into the second story of the apartments. So the entire bottom floor of the apartments was underwater, and the water actually got up to the second floor. So you can see how much water that is. And it's all because of the hills, man. The hills just funnel all the water through one area. So, and the further downstream you go, the worse it gets, because you're getting even more water. Because you're getting everything that we got up this way plus everything down there. But anyway, I was driving my 1976 Plymouth Duster, which everybody likes to make fun of me for. But seriously, if you don't know what that is, check it up. Check it out on Google. It's a nice looking car, but it definitely didn't have the horsepower. It looked like a muscle car, but it didn't have the horsepower. It was a 225 slant 6 single barrel carburetor, 3-speed automatic. Had no horsepower, but I had all the fun in that thing. I love that car. But I came down, and initially when I went over to town, I was going over to town to help clean up the American Legion, because my grandpa was part of the American Legion before he passed away, and he passed away in the late 90s. I want to say 97 or 98. But I went over there to help him clean up because it was so bad. And the American Legion is literally right on the edge of the creek that goes right through town. And so it always gets flooded. So I went in to help them clean it out, and after I was done, I spent a few hours there helping them clean. They take the hoses and spray the silt, and then you take squeegees and shove the silt and the water out the sides of the building. Anyway, after we got it cleaned up, I was coming my way back, and there was a state truck, a state dump truck right in front of me, right back there. He was pulling the road closed signs out. All right, so I was like, great, I'll be able to ride right behind this guy. I won't have to go up Congo and around. I'll be able to go right across. It's a little quicker. And I wasn't wrong, except he was going too slow. The water, I'm not joking, okay? The water was literally so high up on my car that I was putting my hand in the water out the window. So don't recommend it at all, but to the credit of the car, it did not stop running. I drove right behind that dump truck the whole way, and it was quite the trip. Here I am literally driving through a lake. Now it was all standing water, of course, for the most part, because like I said, this is pretty much the bottom. So once it floods, it backs up, and you get several inches of water, and this was one of the worst floods. But dead bird. But yeah, that was a trip. The thought was perfect. Like, he's gonna go through, he'll push the water out of the way, and it'll be a lot less water when I drive behind him. But because he's going so slow, the water came back in on me. And let's just say I wasn't sure that the car was gonna make it. Now luckily it's a carbureted car, so the air intake is up high. It's the only reason that car made it through that water. And then a few months later, my transmission went out. I have no idea why. I have no idea why that transmission would go out. I'm sure it had nothing to do with being full of water. And you know I didn't drain it. I was too stupid back then. You know I didn't drain the fluid and change it out. But the good news is we're almost done, guys. We're on the home stretch now. Go up this little hill here, down the other side, and then we'll be almost home. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed a little talk / walk with me. Like I said, if it's something you guys enjoy, we can definitely do it more, because I do try to get these walks in a couple times a week at least. So if you guys want it, I can probably do it. I used to do stuff like this a little more often back in the day when I was first starting my channel, because I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with my channel. We used to have Ride Along with Spartan. It's a little thing where I'd be in my my WRX back then, before it broke down, and you just ride with me to work. I'd sit there and talk to you while I was driving to work. And so I miss doing those a little bit. So this could kind of make up for that a little bit, maybe, if you guys enjoy it. But again, everything I do on my channel comes down to if you guys enjoy it or not. So if you do, make sure you hit that like button for me. Leave comments, share the videos, because that's what lets me know you guys enjoy it. It also helps my videos get picked up by YouTube and pushed out to a larger audience, and the channel can grow a little faster. So that's why that's why I tell you guys all the time, I appreciate you, because without you, it's a heck of a lot harder. Know what I'm saying? So definitely help me out, man. I do appreciate it. But yeah, this is the last little hill. Then the rest becomes a nice little walk back to the house. Turn back on a gravel road here in a minute. But this path you just seen me take, this walk, I used to do this on my bike a lot. And coming off of Congo Hill on a bike is fun as crap, man. You get going 50, 60 miles an hour on a bicycle. It's fun. It's real fun. Of course, too stupid to wear any sort of, you know, safety equipment. No helmet, no knee pads or elbow pads or nothing like that. Too stupid for all that. That make too much sense. And I paid the price quite a few times too. Got pretty fortunate never to really hit my head super hard in a crash, but anyway, so you'd come off of Congo Hill. You could literally coast all the way off Congo Hill and halfway down Green Valley Bottom. It was fun, man. But I was coming back home. I come over this hill, and down around this corner there was a truck behind me. And so I got over a little bit to let the truck go around me a little easier. And just the moment that he gets like beside me, my front tire popped. Like, I'm not talking about my front tire went flat. It popped. It literally exploded. And down I went with this pickup coming right past me. Right into the gravel. Nasty, man. Had to dig gravel out of my palms because, you know, you land on your hands and it just digs that gravel. You got road rash. That was a mess. Little bunny rabbit. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. You guys get kind of a wide view than I do. So I just heard it and I looked over. It's all his butt. All right, and we're back. Just had to do a second battery swap, but at least the camera is not overheating. That was my biggest concern was if the camera is going to overheat when I swap batteries. I was hoping it wouldn't, and it doesn't appear that it's going to be an issue. It does get warm, I will say that. Like, the camera is very, very warm. And I imagine if we're out on deck on the ship and it's super sunny, I bet that could probably be an issue. But at least in these conditions, it's not an issue. And it's pretty warm right now. It's in the 80s and humid. Of course, it actually might be down into the 70s by now, too. Got a little stream. This is actually part of the stream that comes from that pond that you guys saw at the beginning of the walk. But yeah, this was the curve I was telling you about. It was right up here past this sign, kind of where you see the asphalt come over a little bit. I just got over a little bit. I don't know if I hit something, maybe glass or something, but man, my front tire just popped, come off the rim completely, and I went down face first, landing in my hands and stuff in this coarse gravel, and it tore me up, man. My knees, my elbows, my hands, just gone. And that guy didn't even stop. He just kept driving. Like, come on, man. At least stop, see if somebody's okay. I was young back then, too. Like, I was pretty young. And then, worst part about it is, you just blew your tire. Now you gotta walk your bike all the way back home while you're already bleeding and covered, and it's just a mess. But, yeah, coming up on the home stretch now. Gotta go around this corner to the left and then make the right and go out towards the house. But it's a nice little walk, isn't it? Just gonna enjoy the day and talk to you guys. Get a little bit of exercise. Not as much exercise as I normally get because I'm taking a little bit easier with you guys, but still not bad. Anytime you're out moving is better than nothing, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that I've kind of learned recently, is you don't have to kill yourself to exercise. Sometimes just getting out and moving is enough. But again, I know I've said it several times, if this is something you guys enjoy and potentially want to see more of in different locations, let me know. We'll make a Walk with Spartan series where, you know, every once in a while we go find a trail, we go walk a trail, or we go to somewhere that I know in the area, or hey, even further out potentially. Depends on how well things go. But if it's something people enjoy, I'll definitely do it, because I like talking, even though it makes me look weird. I could just imagine that older couple there on Congo that was there with their dog, hearing some dude just talking to himself walking down the road. It's like, what's this guy? Some kind of weirdo. Because like I said, there's not a whole lot of people like me around. Well, there's nobody like me, but there's not a whole lot of people that do YouTube and vlogging and stuff in this area. Or at least not seriously anyway. Fun fact is, we're actually coming up on, if we cross 36,000 subscribers, we will have more people subscribed to my YouTube channel than there are that live in the county that I live in, which is Perry County, Ohio. Pretty sure the last census, Perry County, Ohio had like 36,000 people in it. So if we can get over 36,000 subscribers, we'll actually have more people subscribed to my channel than live in the county that I live in, which is crazy when you think about it. Because I mean, you see where I live. Me and people we don't really get along. Well, I don't mind people, but I'm kind of antisocial. Just kind of keep to myself. Don't really get out and socialize with people. Except you guys. You guys should consider yourself lucky. The only people I socialize with. Imagine you're just a couple people that just randomly found my channel one day. It's crazy. Or maybe you knew my channel and you just came over because your friend invited you, or you heard about my channel. But little birdie. It's all right, little buddy. Yeah, definitely should have brought a bottle of water with me. Keep getting stuff stuck in my throat. Brings tears to my eyes, man. I don't know if it's pollen or a bug or what. Good Lord. I apologize. Another car. You can see how old some of these buildings are. Bunch of old trucks and stuff people collect over the years, tear parts off of, fix up their trucks that they're using, and then leave them sit. Never know when you pull another part off of something. A lot of beagles in the area. A lot of people like to hunt. Pretty little beagles though, ain't they? Hey, we hit 10,000 steps. Look. It's a good old walk. This white house or grayish house that's got the deck added onto the front right here on the corner. There's an older man and woman that lived there when I was growing up, and when I used to walk over to the school for band or football or whatever, on my way back from walking, they would always ask me if I wanted a glass of ice water. Every time, never failed. They would always be sitting on their porch and they would ask me if I wanted ice water, and it's about 2 miles from the school, mile and a half. So by the time I'd get here in the summertime, I'd want a glass of water. It was always nice. It was always nice. Almost home. Fun fact, when I used to walk all the time, going over to the school for band or football or whatever, basketball, when I used to walk as a kid, there used to be a tree that went across this creek. And if you literally cross this creek, you'll get over into a sand pit right here that borders our property. So I used to just cut across here all the time. Saved me from walking all the way out the driveway and all the way around. You cut a good chunk of time off doing that. But I don't know, that old tree must have washed away at some point, because I haven't seen it. Maybe it's still there, I don't know. Should be right here between these two big trees. It fell across the river, or across the creek. It's a pretty nice sized creek right here too, but it fell across. I don't know where this angel came from, but it's been there for a little while now. It falls over occasionally and people pick it back up. But yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, the tree used to be like right in here, and I would just walk across that tree every day, go home, or come out and go down to my cousins and whatnot. Oh, this is the people that own Scenic Trails, which is right up here. So they're our neighbor. It's our closest neighbor. My cousin actually owns, well, I say my cousin owns the property. There's actually another property between us, but the next house on that side that we just passed is actually owned by my cousins. So we are literally in the middle of nowhere. And like I said, it has its perks. It's kind of nice. You want to do something, you can do whatever you want out here. Nobody really cares, as long as you're not hurting somebody. But these guys own all this property up here. This used to be strip mine. Further back here, that pond that you saw me jump in, the polar bear plunge, that is actually an old strip mine. And I used to swim that. That's where I learned to swim. Literally learned to swim there. Because there's a high wall that you swim across it, and you climb up the wall and jump off. It's like a 20-foot drop. Nothing too crazy. You could actually jump from further up. A lot of people used to, but not me. 20 feet into the water is plenty. But we had a blast, man. That's one thing I will say about living down here is I had pretty much everything you could ever need, right? Got swimming holes, fishing holes. I wasn't much of a fisher, but the old man likes to fish, so I would go fishing with him occasionally. But we got fishing, we got swimming, we got hiking, trails nowadays for people. You can see they go up in there. Surprised you ain't hearing them more. It's a weekend. Maybe they're not open this weekend. I don't know. They're usually open. Maybe they're out on a trip or something. Who knows? Deer fly is starting to mess with me now. Almost back home. Getting back down into the swamp. This is the drain from the two ponds up here. You got one smaller pond on the left, and then the big pond that you guys see me jump in is the one on the right. And they both drain into that, and that drains down into here, connects with the strip mine that comes down this way. when I go on my smaller walks, a lot of times I'll bring Goof with me. We go walking up that big old hill. That's a heck of a hill. Yeah, they must be closed today. Interesting. They're open most weekends, but I don't see anybody there. But yeah, that's scenic trails right there. They got ATV trails all over there. They got hill climbing spots. Plenty of mud. All the mud probably. So if you guys are interested in that sort of thing, like I said, people come from all around. Like there's hundreds of people, maybe more than that, that come down to this area every weekend to go on this trail. There's another trail over Shawnee that's about 6 miles away. Maybe not even 6 miles. It's like 4 miles from here. Another big trail where they take ATVs and stuff. Then you got New Straitsville. You've got Begley's over there. Trying to think of this. Okay, so you got scenic trails here. You got Tecumseh trails, which is over between Shawnee and here. And then you've got Begley's campground and trails in New Straitsville. So like I said, there's hundreds of people every weekend come down here, bring all their ATVs and all the things. Campers. The amount of money that comes into this area every weekend is insane. I don't even want to think of how much things cost. There's a little swimming hole. Used to swim in it, but then I outgrew it. It's not very deep. Like, its deepest is usually right here by this culvert that comes out. But notice you don't see any phone lines, right? Our phone box was right back there on that corner. You may have seen it when we passed it, but that phone is literally buried, comes right through here. These places where people take their ATVs in and out, they have dug up our phone line so many freaking times it's ridiculous. And when they do it, they end up tearing the phone line, and then I lose internet and phone service. It's annoying. You can see where they spin their tires coming out of here thinking they're all special. And these are old phone lines. You can see how they're all torn up. Stupid. But yeah, these are what literally go to my house. But this bridge right here that comes from the main pond and empties out this way, this bridge about got washed out that night that we had that big storm I was telling you about. The 10 inches of rain in 3 hours. This pond literally came clear over top. This whole thing was a river. And you can see the beaver dam up there too, right at the edge of the big pond, right there where those dead trees are. Just past that, you can see the beaver dam. Beavers are a pain in the neck. I used to clean it out all the time, keep that water nice and fresh going through there. But the beavers, they can build it just about as fast as you can tear them down, and they do. So you tear it out, it'll last a few days, and then it'll be right back. But yep, now we've made it home. But yeah, when they had to redo that after that storm, because those culverts literally shifted, gigantic concrete culverts, and the force from the water going through them actually shifted them and about washed that bridge out. And when they redone that, they actually dumped all their fill dirt and rock and stuff on top of my phone line and knocked out my phone line. But then they ended up having to pay for the line to be completely new, all the way from the box over there, all the way down here across the driveway, down the side of the driveway. And we've got a splitter box that you can barely get to anymore because it's so overgrown. But we just recently redid the driveway with gravel and stuff. This driveway's a pain to keep up on. between me and the old man, we usually rent a tractor or rent an excavator and fix things. We got to get an excavator out here so that I can re-dig out the ditches. See, out here in the middle of nowhere, you don't get people come along and clean stuff. Yeah, see, can't see it because everything's been shoved back into it. The old man did this last time. He kind of went ham with the backhoe, or not the backhoe, but the bobcat, and shoved all the brush and stuff back. Well, there's a splitter box right back there, and he's kind of buried it for our fun line. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little walk and talk. We're headed back out into the driveway now, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Like I said, this is me in the middle of nowhere, guys. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.